Hey guys, back with another trading video. Today I'll be covering how to mitigate losses. Today was kind of rough. We started with a negative 1,000 across 5 accounts, and then I was quickly able to turn that back into a plus 1,000. So the way I did this was just based off bias and having proper entries. However, I'll show you guys what trades I took, what my thought process was, and what I learned from it. And at the end, I'll also be showing you what my journal looks like after a day like this. So first of all, I'm going to go into, at about 10 a.m. right here, we had red folder news. Now we created a data low, and this is when I was starting to look for trades. Before this, I wasn't very interested. Just because I didn't know what it was going to do. I knew it was a big red folder news, so I was going to wait for it. So we created this data low down here, and alongside this we had plenty of stacked lows. We had London, we had Asia lows down here. So overall, I was looking bearish because especially this 1 hour, we clearly respected it. You see all the wicks, the closure, it's all respecting that 1 hour. So first trade was this inversion. So we came down here. As soon as we hit about these lows, I went break even because it's a low resistance liquidity run. It should just run through it. Okay, so we start chopping up, whatever. Ends up coming back to my stop, break even. So then I decide, okay, well, bias is still intact. We're still underneath the 1 hour. And we have plenty of draw left in here, and I had no reason to yet go long. So entered a 30-second. I'm not even gonna show it. Honestly, it was not the best entry, and I'll write that down in my journal, and I'll figure out what I did wrong there, and I'll show you guys that. But after this, I'm down about 1,000 across 5 accounts. So what am I gonna do? Well, I'm just going to let price action do whatever it wants to do. Okay. So after this, we're coming into 1040, 1050. At this point, I'm kind of going to wait to see what the hourly candle does, just because many times the 10 to 11 a.m., it's going to have its own bias, its own draw. And then that 11 to 12 could do something completely different. So going to the 1 hour, you'll see initially this first candle, and even this candle, the 10 to 11, we were bearish. We came all the way down, respecting it. And at the end of it, we actually went bullish on it. We inverted it. So what does that mean? Well, that means anything above it is going to be vulnerable. In this instance, we have a daily high. We have a weekly high up here. So that's going to be my new draw. Okay, so new bias created. I have to accept that I'm wrong, and now I have to move away from that and continue to respond to proper risk management. So first thing I did, I saw this when we created the next hour. We had a 5-minute fair value gap, and within that we also had an order block, and I guess you could consider this a breaker right here. So kind of like a unicorn. Okay, so we have that inversion, but then we also have a 5-minute gap. And 5-minute gaps are one of my favorites. They really pop out at you when they're this large, and that kind of tells me, okay, that's a good entry. So right here, gonna go long. Stop was about right here. And so I was actually aiming for a little bit more than this. So I was aiming for up here. Unfortunately, I noticed that we started to really slow down around that daily high. So as soon as I saw that, as soon as I saw us consolidating in this fair value gap, I exited right here. So just lost a few points aside from this daily high. And luckily I did, because otherwise I might have gone stopped right here with all this chop. It's a Friday, you can't expect too much. So in terms of entries, that was my third one, and we ended up positive on the day. So now let's get into the journaling aspect. As you guys know, I'm a big advocate for journaling. My favorite journal is going to be Notion, where I'm able to keep easy screenshots. I used to use Excel. I don't really like Sheets or Excel anymore just because you can't see the photos as well. So here I'll show you what I look at. So the first thing I'm going to mark down is going to be what kind of higher time frame delivery did we have? Where are we delivering from? And then where are we headed to? So right here, I mentioned our 1 hour delivery. We also had a 5-minute for value gap delivery. And then a 2-minute inversion was our entry. And then here was our draw. And I'm going to write down kind of some reasons why it didn't work out. But overall, I did say the first trade and the trade management was not bad. It was still an A setup. Okay, second trade was not the best. I didn't even show the entry because if you look at the higher time frame, there's no reason to enter. So no delivery, 30-second IFEG. Yes, we were underneath the hourly fair value gap. However, at this point, we were not in much of a premium. So unnecessary trade, whatever, gonna move on. Okay, third trade, finally we had the 1 hour IFEG, we had a 5-minute fair value gap, and then we had a stacked high, and then with the weekly high. The entry was also aligned with an order block, and as I said, possibly the breaker. I just mentioned the order block. So overall, I always show at the end, I show the higher time frame just to give a perspective on where the day was going, what the bias looked like. So right here, I mentioned that it became apparent we would go higher because of the inverted 1 hour fair value gap. So simple as that. You guys should be doing that all the time. Obviously, you could write little notes aside from this, but this is my consistent way of journaling every day, just so I have consistent results. Anyways, I hope you guys liked the video. If you guys have anything that you want me and Mark to make a video on, make sure you comment down below. If you guys haven't yet, join the Discord where we're sending free trades, free analysis. It'll also be down in the description below. You guys have a nice day.